Greetings, everyone. This is Joanna from Universal Love Light Wisdoms, Heavenly Radiance, and Shamanic Tarot. Many things that we're co-creating and involved with. I can't remember all the time. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Joanna, and what a beautiful, lovely, it looks like winter outside, but actually it is spring. I'm really looking forward to co-creating on the land and getting on the land as much as possible this year, co-creating with the wisdoms. And I've been inspired again to create new every day. I'm waking up with new ideas and new co-creations. And we're going to be doing a video and a podcast after this about really tapping into universal wisdoms, angelic wisdoms, the frequencies of the consciousness and the mind of the holy creators, the consciousness of the divine mind, and how that is the divine mind of all that we are, the higher mind, and tapping into those fields of consciousness through sound and through co-creation, and through the fields of all that we live in and we're co-creating within. And why we've brought it forward so many times in our offerings and in our teachings, how important that allowing all to be the all, in allowance, and really focusing on what it is that you want in any one moment and then moving forward. And we've done many illustrations about the beautiful infinity on how it's so important to live from the heart space and this presence so that you can create from the frequencies and from your intention, from your focus, from your attention into the reality that you so desire. And so we're going to talk about a few topics today. The first one that we wanted to talk about is sovereignty, liberation, and the oneness in the allness and oneness. And we all often like to bring forward the macro and the micro experience, because this will lead us into the divine mind. A beautiful experience that's occurred to me this week is now that I'm seeing it and I'm putting together the puzzle pieces, which is how my teams like to work with me, so that why they do that, I'm already starting to clear in the sacred corner. Thank you to the sacred corner, which we're co-creating within. And I welcome you to this beautiful sacred corner. My body was just reminding me, intend this as sacred corner. We've called in the heavenly teams. We've called in Lord Michael, for those listening now, Future Now Moments, your healing teams, your sacred beings that you work with, your sacred soul tribe, your soul in and of itself, your higher self, all of the angelic frequencies of the Christ Collective, the Councils of Light, galactic federations, all of the beings working within the light programs for the Christ consciousness that we are as universal omnipresence beings. So we thank you to the sacred corner. Thank you, body. My body is reminding me. And in this divine mind experience, we're experiencing the macro, the micro. And what that has to do with our sovereignty, which is very rarely spoken about, and what that truly means to each and every one of us will be different. It will be experienced uniquely, because each and every one of us come with themes within our soul's blueprint that we must transcend and expand upon. We each come with various and myriad multidimensional, galactic, planetary, universal timelines that we're all healing. And as the collective, what we're moving through as the planetary collective, through the traumas and the collective energies that we're moving through right now, not only is it a release on a multidimensional level, but it's a release within the soul to truly come into that one new truth. As we talked about, what light language and sacred sound allows you to clear away, is that honoring of the truth of who you are as a sovereign being. That sovereignty means that you, as a free-willed being of omnipresence, of source light, you have the sovereign free will choice to co-create your reality as creatively and expressively within your soul's pure desire and what you've come here for. However, we haven't known that. We haven't been taught that. We've been taught very limited socioeconomic confinements and constraints, and having to kind of fit in with our society, which has really suppressed the divine light expression. The divine light expression is so very key to living that divine sovereign truth. Our sovereignty is to express, to explore, and to experience all that we are as omnipresent beings. And so how our soul will inspire us, the higher self, the higher mind, from the divine mind, because the divine mind understands how we are threaded throughout the entire omnipresence. And so those pulsations sent from the divine mind, from all universes, from all aspects of all that is, the omnipresence, it's mind-boggling. This is what I was shown, is that there are threads and tendrils that go within the all of vibratory light frequencies, the pulsations of Source Creator, the Mother, the Father, the holiest of all that we are, as light, as love, as creative exploration, as creative evolution. And those pulsations link to all that we belong with, within and without, all things. And so if we are from the higher mind shut down, from living from that ego state, the lower mind, the ego state is control, having to manage every moment because it's fight or flight. The ego is that fight or flight perspective. So what through awakening we're now aligning ourselves with is releasing the ego and living from this heart space, which is the higher self, the soul, calling the soul forward. Holy Mother, Father, as you are, Source is within you. Living from this higher perspective, we begin to then open up the portals of all that we are as light, aligning ourselves fully with all that we are as light. And I wanted to show you an illustration. So we're going to be doing a couple of webinars. And we've got classes that go monthly and weekly for those that so desire, that want to connect with us on our classes and our ascension and our coaching and our private alignments. So we're opening up the pillar of light that runs along the spine that allows us that liquid communication. This is so important because it allows us to tap in with the all divine mind fields that we are connected within. And so this omnipresent frequency of crystalline light and encodations that we call in, we always call in that higher codes, the highest soul star chakra of all that we are, then connected with all that is, those tendrils that go out to the all that is, allowing us to fully live our soul's divine, sovereign, evolutionary allness. Because as I've found out through trial and experience, and there is no error, there's just a massive experience of allness, and we learn our way around, right? And so suppressing that light of creative expression allows you to peel away those mistruths, those lack of alignments of who you are as a sovereign being. And so the more that we allow ourselves to fully express our divine creative light, whether it's through painting, singing, poetry, blog, coaching, creative dance, however it is that you explore with Source, it could be also within the forest, and we're going to get into that at the very end. It's encompassing the all, the omnipresence, your creative inspirations that are ignited from you within the soul of all that you are given from that higher mind inspiration, fed down from the divine mind. That divine mind is linked with all that is, obviously, because it's Source Creator. Not just this universe, but multi-omnipresent universes. That divine mind, if you see, it's like a funneling, the divine tree, the tree of life, if you will. And that tree of life is sent out. That one tree of life then has that divine mind of light programmings of evolution for that omnipresent section of, we'll call it space, but that's not really what it is. It's consciousness and experience. And within this consciousness experience, there are infinite number of universes. Those universes then have galaxies and programs within that. There's then this other section within the divine tree of consciousness vibratory experience. And there's another section, and it goes on for infinite, and it's in the spiral. So as each universe, as each section of omnipresence is being upgraded vibratorily, then so too are all of the planets and the galaxies within each, in which we've explained years and years ago with that experience that I was given when I was in the dentist chair on the top-down perspective of what our universe and two other universes were going through. They just gave me a small caption because it's all that my mind could comprehend. But they gave me a top-down expression of what the three universes that we're most closely in proximity to were going through. And it's this spiraling infinity, if you will. And as one universe is ready to move up in evolutionary vibratory frequencies, so too will that next evolutionary space of omnipresence be activated from that light that they've moved up in evolutionary frequency. It's no different than what's happening here on Earth. Those that are awakened are activating those that are yet to be awakened. And it's this tendriling effect. But this is how the divine mind communicates, through light pulsations, through love radiations, through the consciousness fanning out, if you will, of divine love and divine light evolution. And within these evolutionary programs, obviously, is what we're seeing is those based within the free will that choose not to move along within that program. And that's the free will choice, just in this universe. It's not like that in all universes and galaxies, of course. And so, just getting my daughter to get the cats. And so, thank you. And so this is how the omnipresence, as best as that we can describe, because we don't have the words and the, the descriptions just yet to explain this, but the omnipresence is all it is that we can imagine. And within the all that is, there are these sections that we can understand it on how that space is organized. We say organized, but it's all by vibration. And so the divine mind, the highest frequency, if you will, is relayed and transmitted through our central sun, as many galaxies are. There is a central sun that is the producer and the omnipresence that holds all of that galaxy's wisdoms, informations, Akashic energies, story timelines, all that you can imagine. And so within that sun packet is the purest source center to the divine, the upper frequencies of consciousness. And so, as you can tell, it's always the tendriling fanning out. And because our planet, we're just talking this galaxy, because it's all our minds can wrap around. This particular galaxy, our planet, is one of the ones vibrationally that's going through the most greatest pocket of change, because we have been the most densest. We've moved the most farthest away from our understanding, our remembrance of who we are as omnipresence. And so we have the greatest potentiation at this point to take that greatest potentiation of divine mind and make it real. Remember it at that core DNA level. And this is why what we offer will often allow, if you listen to it many, many times, you'll get a different message within it all, because those are the vibrational energies that we're putting out for the highest and for the greatest good. We are the light co-creators. We are activating our sovereignty. My sovereignty is to live as full and as exploratory as we can. And that's our excitement, to be here as source creator, to have fun being source, to have fun being our divine human omnipresence, understanding that to get to that sovereignty, we have to release every single dense limitation of fear and belief that we've ever held about ourselves and all others. So why we've brought forward many times in many different arenas of our offerings, whether it's talking about Gaia, land activations, light language, the family transitioning within ascension energies, all of those experiences that we've offered and we've talked about, the core vibration of our teaching is to release all that we thought we knew, because it really limits us in every way. Putting definitions and titles and rules and subjugation. The subjugation is so subtle, but it's in everything that we've ever experienced. To truly release all of it. To do that, why we say daily self-care is so important. What is it that I'm ready to let go of? What am I really ready to let the lid off? Just pop that lid off and let's just get free. That's liberation. That's liberating your soul to that omnipresence that that at a very core DNA, spirit, soul, why you've come, to really feel that, yes, I'm the source. I can do and be anything. I can have anything. I can experience anything. I am source. As source is, I am. As source is, my name is. And that's that liberated sovereignty that we've never been taught, because it's always been everything that we've ever encompassed within being human. And there is no judgment or rules or quantitative or qualitative energies about this. Why we're saying we're only explaining it as to the systems we're leaving, systems we've let go of. And it's had to, because we're at this consciousness from that omnipresence. It's now fanned down and it's now hitting at the core of humanity, each and every one of us. How may I expand and really lift the lid off of all that I am as a divine omnipresence being? Because I know that everywhere in the universe, there's parts of me that are being pulled up by other parts of me, by the divine mind. Allowing all of those limited beliefs that thought you had to have a certain career, that thought you had to play a certain familial role, that thought you had to align with old paradigms of what you used to look like or the roles you used to play, and really popping that lid off and saying, we are here to live sovereignty. We are here to allow our divine creative evolutionary potential to be all that it can be. And in doing so, naturally allows all that is to be all that is, for it to be as fluid and as moving and as evolutionary as possible. If the planet continued to de-evolve and the planet never awoken, then that cell would have gone into another program of de-evolution. And that would have caused great catastrophe, as you can tell, because de-evolve and is to the point of destruction. That's what de-evolution means, is to not to evolve. And there is no, because it's all source, you would then just, recreate back into source, because it's all source. But your souls and your higher selves and your spirits and all are inspiring to wake up, to awaken within the soul and the cell, your cell record, your DNA record, that threading with source, with mother, father, to awaken and say, we're ready to explore, we're ready to get here, we're ready to be all that we can be. And that's that sovereignty, that's that ache, that divine content to be with the divine in all things, because it's the field that we are all within. As we've explained, and it's been noted, every time we get on our sacred corner, the bodies just start moving in sacred co-creation, because the fields we've already intended. This is a sacred co-creation, this is sacred communion. We are setting our co-creative space, we're setting the omnipresence of sacredness. We're ready to explore. And why, if you do this every day with devotion, you set that intention, I am co-creating sacredly, I'm co-creating with my omnipresence, things are going to come in and you're going to see your reality shifts. That's how we now operate as the source within us, calling your soul forward. What is my highest excitement to explore today? How may I explore my liberated self, my soul self? There are no boundaries. There are no ceilings, if you will. Yes, for dimensional experience, there are ceilings, obviously. But the more excited you are to explore all that you are, your cells and your bodies just innately move in the direction they're meant to move in, and you'll change your food and your eating habits. The addictions will disappear, because that energy that you're living as source supersedes all, and you'll just find yourself innately just shifting and moving. How it doesn't feel like that is if you keep allowing yourself to move back into ego behaviors of self-deprecation, lack of self-worth. The worthiness that we feel for ourselves keeps us moving back into those patterns of addiction. And so that's where you heal. That's what you heal. So all those aspects of the self that are shouting at you and wanting you to pay attention, what needs to be healed here, those are those portals to release those dense beliefs from your belief system, so that you can align yourself with that light of the divine mind that's being sent from the omnipresent, like universe is beyond what we don't have words for. I was trying to explain, in my mind, I sat down with my journal last night. I was asking for, an outline on how to organize some of the information to make it conceptually, how do you conceive with the logical mind? And we just have to allow ourselves not to want to, dissect it that way, to put it in the way that we can best describe, but leave it at that and let go and just move into the energy of allness. So that's where oneness and allness are the same. That the many, the all, the omni is who we are at the micro, and that we are infinite in that expression, in that exploration, and in that experience. And that's the initial core goal of humanity, is to sovereignly explore. That's ascension. To explore all that we are as spirit, to express all that we are as spirit, to experience ourselves as spirit in all things, whether it's the flower or the trees or the open forest. Those are the energies, that we move through, and through the consciousness and the gifts that each of us come with, that will be activated in the journey, the adventure. So as you excitedly explore all that you are, you will activate the gifts and the skills that you come with. And that's what, some of my private sessions, that's what they explore. When we do our readings and our healing sessions, we can heal what's going on in the Akash and look at your current hurdles and your blocks. And then the gifts will come through from that vibrational fanning out, if you will. These are my gifts, and these have been my excitement since I was young, because you come with those innate gifts from when you're born. Before that, obviously, because it's in your soul's blueprint. But those are some of the gifts that you come with to share with the all, because it, as we said again, it links up with all of those other tendrils that you belong to. And that's the evolutionary. Your soul knows that I'm meant to explore this, because if I don't, it's going to hold my entire soul being back. The soul of all that you are, the oversoul of oversouls, and all the way back to the omnipresent. And that omnipresent wants to explore and expand. And so if you're that link on the chain that doesn't want to keep going, then that chain will go into another frequency of experience, because the rest of you is moving up and on and out. And there is no judgment either way. It's nothing to be fearful about, like, oh, I got to get on this. No, just allow yourself to be in love every day. Focus as much and as often as you can, realign in love. If you realign in love, then all things will take care of itself. We're just showing you. Sorry, my cats just do not get along. And so that's what we were talking about. We were talking about the expression of source. And so I'm just going to put one of them in the room. So just hang on for half a sec. Thank you. Sorry about that. My cats are having a bit of a, they don't like being stuck inside, but they can't go outside because it's like 2 feet of snow. But what we wanted to talk about is that what you get activated in this understanding of just the intention to allow yourself to acknowledge you are omnipresent. There are no ceilings, there are no boundaries, there are no blocks, there's no boxes. Even if you find yourself, because this has happened to me many, many times, where your soul will be releasing a density or a belief that must be released and must be transmuted. And that's the process of clearing. You're clearing from 3D to 5D. So there's a lot of density between those frequencies. It's never been done before. What humanity is moving through has never been done before in this way. So we're moving through 3, 4 to 5G frequencies that we're clearing and healing. And that's a lot of beliefs. That's a lot of energies that we've created over eons of, we call time, but it's all now. All concurrent timelines are right now. And so those energies and those belief systems and those perspectives are having to be renewed to the 5D frequency, that realignment of unconditional love, unconditional sovereignty, your omnipresence. That's why we always realign to here. No matter what you're going through, it's very simple. Just realign to your allness. Realign to your omnipresence. You're unconditionally loved. You're so supported. You're with the Creator in all moments. Releasing the fears, because the fears hold you back to de-evolution. It de-evolves your cells, your soul, it imbalances every aspect. And the fears are the illusions that we've had beliefs from based on experiences that the psyche pops up in your day to say, ding, 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 there's a fear here. And you go into shutdown. And that's when we say, okay, bring it up. Let's face it. I'm facing it. Don't be afraid of it. Come on, let's do this. Face it, because we've created it out of the illusions and the misbeliefs that we had to be controlled or limited in any other way. And it causes, all other problems of imbalance that we're finding. But those gifts that we're talking about, the omnipresence, because we are our souls, when we come into this planet, I'm just going to bring this up. And we usually talk about this in webinars, but I've been inspired to bring all of it forward. As you can see from this diagram, our souls come with the sacred triad, which means that we are sewn within a blueprint of ascension with Gaia, the Gaia blueprint ascension, your individual soul's blueprint, your collective soul's blueprint, and then there's sacred triads that go all the way up the divine mind. And so each soul's blueprint comes with unique gifts and skills that we're meant to activate at divine timing, after you and through and while you're doing your clearing, that activate your gifts so that you serve Gaia, so that you serve your collective, so that you serve your soul and the divine mind of all that you're connected with. And that's why it's a fanning out effect, because that's the only way that we can explain the all that is, the omnipresent that we're all connected with, and why you feel this. It's like the pearl necklace. You're being pulled up through those tendrils of light. And each pearl is another aspect of you that's pulling you up as it ascends, as it clears, as it moves into greater light. But these gifts can come in a myriad of different ways, and why so many are saying, okay, well, this job doesn't fit with me anymore. That's the sovereignty kicking in. That's your soul, your higher self, all that you are, a spirit, your omnipresence saying, ding, ding, ding. This is too confining. This is too restricting. relationships are going through much upheaval and transmutation. They must. What relationships are serving you? What relationships are ready to be transmuted? What relationships are ready to just simply be let go? And that's with the relationship with anything, whether it's your relationship with your career, your body, your food, habits, all of those things. Those habits are because we've separated ourselves from spirit. We're not receiving that full unconditional love and presence and belonging with spirit. And we create habits to keep that distraction of loneliness, of divine discontent. But these gifts are that sovereignty kicking in to say, you're meant to be more free and exploratory and expressive, to experience all that you are as source. That's the sovereignty that keeps pinging and triggering. Those are those energies of restlessness. Those are those energies of, man, I just need to change my career. Man, I'm just going to go into business for myself. That sovereignty, that is your soul saying it's time for you to become your exploratory, creative, expressive self. And it will trigger you, and it will activate you in every arena of your life. Relationships, food, health, wellness, love, vocation, everything, because that's your creative's core. It's your core of who you are. These gifts are linked to Gaia, because Gaia and you are innately threaded, like the mother and the father. You have connected with her at a soul level before your incarnation to say, Gaia, how can I help with you? I've been with you for eons. These are my gifts. What do you need from me? And it's a co-creative contract, energetically, vibrationally, with the highest of councils before you get here. And that soul contract is saying, well, I'm really excited because I know with all of these other tendrils that will be taking place and activating as I awaken, I'm going to start awakening to my herbal medicine. I'm going to start awakening to my sacred sound. I'm going to start awakening to working with children. Then all of these energies begin to kick on, and Gaia starts then activating you through that divine timing and that tendril. Do you see how we're saying it's a multidimensional perspective and fanning out of your omnipresence? This is why it's just so mind-boggling. And it's so exciting, because that's how supported you are. That's how loved you are. It's not you simply being alone in it all and thinking that you've got to figure it all out. You don't. Follow those inspirations, especially when you first wake up. When you first wake up, those first few minutes, create the highest affirmations that you can for yourself, and that sets your vibrational frequency for the day. And then just softly muse about the dreams, because those dreams are your activations to align you for that path that you're walking. That new 5D vocation, that new 5D expression, that exploration and experience that you're here to create. That's how we create the 5D earth. That's how we create this new perspective that we're all walking on. And it looks different than what we've ever done. And it's meant to, because now we're turned on. Now we're omnipresence. Now we know who we are. We're living in our sovereignty, and we're walking with source because we are. We have Gaia wisdom. We understand how to create beautiful forests. We understand how to talk with the flowers. We understand how to communicate with the soils and how to create better food that feed our now 5D bodies. So this will be a lot of the gifts that many will be awakening to, because our bodies will require different nourishment. Our bodies will require different entertainment. Our bodies and our minds will require different ways to move and express and heal. And now we're being activated. This is our sovereignty coming forward. Let's get it done. Let's get out there and explore. And that's why it's so exciting. So we hope that you've enjoyed this, this Divine Sacred Corner offering for sovereignty, liberation, liberating yourself at every perspective. And we wanted to share, we're going to do a separate video for this as well, because it can take a while to go through the sacred sounds. We wanted to do a surah today. A surah is rising up. It's the alphabet of the arc. It's a light language vocable. And we always want to do Esh. So those are the two. We want to do Nasi as well. So Nasi, Esh, and Asur. And those are the sacred vocables and sounds for moving out and expanding and exploring. And so Asur is rising up. So rising up from where you were before. Esh is bringing forth all that you are to expand out, that tendril from the divine mind. And Nazi is the spinner field through which all the divine mind is spinning and pulsating that energy of your omnipresence, pulling you up into these higher fields of vibration and exploration and experience and expression. So trust your, how we can say it in human form. You have inspirations because they're fed through the higher mind. And the higher mind is connected to the divine mind, source, creator. all that is, omnipresence. And it's linked to all that you are within the all. Tendrils upon tendrils upon tendrils, the infinite and the omnipresence, beyond what we have words for, beyond what can be explained, beyond what science even knows about. And have that be okay. We're at this crisscrossing point where we're setting into a new territory, which there are no studies, there are no energies that can describe what we're talking about, and this is okay. Have it be okay. Just know that it's divinely timed and connected with all that you are as omnipresence, and why we have that sovereign push and pull, so that we explore that core vibration of who we are as source, as spirit. And trust that. That's your soul. Your soul is saying you have so much to explore. You have gifts beyond what we even know of. And I've been shown many times that what people tap into is only a minute, like the little pinky finger, little tip of your pinky finger as a whole being, if you will, if you classify your physical being, which is not, because we're all. But this little pinky is just what you've tapped into, and you have all of this to tap into and activate and motivate as your center of love, as your center of light. Every atom, every molecule, every cell, you can begin communicating with, you can begin turning on and saying, I am omnipresence. Let's get my cells and my atoms in order here. I am an omnipresent being of light. I am an omnipresent essence of source creator. How can I move forward? And so allowing yourself, the sacred activation through your own voice, and why the voice is so important, and why all of the chakras that we align with are so important to our health and our wellness. And this is, these are the tendrils that we were talking about. You are in the very center. This is your human body, your human perspective right now. And these lines are vibrational experiences that you exist upon. So all of these golden aspects of you that are concurrent right now are, as they're moving through their evolution and through their spiral of now, they're feeding those light pulsations to you, which is then fanned out and up to the omnipresence. And as omnipresence, the divine mind says, we're entering a new program of light of evolution. Are you ready? And this evolutionary from divine mind fans it out to all that is. And why we get those inspirations, why we get those hits of light, why we get those energies to just go, 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 go. That's our evolutionary sovereignty to explore. And why it's okay that those around you will perhaps not be ready for it, and perhaps be in denial of it, or be in resistance of it, or be in agitation of it, or anger of it. That's okay, because they're not ready to explore that energy yet. That's okay, because they still have to work through beliefs that are still holding them in fear. They're still holding them in control programs. That's okay. But that's their sovereignty to sort out. You're not responsible for that. And that's why healing those codependence relationships, healing energies of narcissism, healing energies of imbalances in multidimensional relationships is really key. Really sit down through your daily self-care. Where am I being held back? Where am I holding myself back? Because nobody or nothing has control over you. You're a divine sovereign being. And as you align with your love, the love of all, regardless of what anybody's going through, you can allow that those energies to be sovereign in their own. You're not responsible for anyone's soul's journey, only yours. And it's not up to any one of us to say, you're coming with me, because that's stepping over the boundaries of free will. It's merely setting the best example that you can as sovereign free light, as sovereign creative free light. You set that vibration for all others to sort it out in their unique way, because that's how we align with our own mastery. That's how we overcome the hurdles of the soul. That's how we overcome the densities and the beliefs that we've held. And only each person is able to do that, no one else. We can offer the vibration, we can offer the guidance, but it's up to each and every one of us to go within and seek our oneness with source. And those energies that you see from that higher perspective, you can see, okay, wow, I really held myself in lack and limitation because I thought I was here to fix it for everybody. Or I was holding myself in old familial roles, like I had to stay at home and be an at-home mom for my entire life because that's what my lineage did. And I wasn't able to explore who I was because of the familiar roles that we've held and kept that are limiting. So we're here to rewrite all of that, because it hinders and it constricts and it restricts our sovereignty. We're talking about liberation and sovereignty. So how can we pop the lid off of all of those constraints, and we're being shaken up at a collective level? And how can we really say what's important? What's really important is each individual explores their sovereignty as spirit. and however it's done, and in whatever way it's done. And those energies will naturally find their way to those energies that will be their own soul tribe. Because everybody's soul tribe will be unique and different, setting the unique vibrational patterns that they're meant to, because each and every person has their soul tribe and their collective fanning out to assist the planetary soul's ascension. It's not just your individual soul. You're connected with your collective, and that's why those will be brought in to assist and help as you put that soul calling out. I call my soul tribe. I call my soulmate. I call those that are here to love and support me as I am them. And those will be called in for you. It's on a higher frequency level. There's no coincidences or accidents at all. You understand that you're working within that omnipresent field, and you are the one that's pulling those threads to say, I'm ready to work on something special with Gaia. Are you ready to help? Those souls will be called together. That's that soulmate love, where you've done that clearing, you've done that cleansing and releasing of negativity and density, so that your souls are coming together to create that for Gaia. And all other souls are also working on their other programs based on their evolutionary light and their vibration. So it's all a perfect design program. We don't have to feel, this is where many people are having to allow and let go and understand the perfection. What we're seeing in our collective right now is not a joyful experience, if you will, because there's trauma and death attached to it. However, there's many things that are within it that we can see how we can rewrite it and begin new in a liberated, sovereign way that really serves the greater good, that serves the all. So these understandings and these unfoldings that are at a multidimensional, galactic, omnipresent perspective, because they are connected with planets that we've gone through similar experiences with, to awake us, to evolve us. It's not happening for no reason. It's all for higher design. But that higher design that we're talking about is allowing us to see that there is divine, omnipresent source, God, creator, spirit, universal omnipresence within every single moment, every single experience. It's up to each and every individual soul to say, how do I want to receive the highest potential for me and co-create for the greater good? So what am I getting out of it? What is my lesson? What is my soul energy? How can I co-create for the greater good from this? And in doing so, we align with that higher vibrational evolutionary program. We are not here to do it for anybody else. We can't. That's why the galactic and the celestial families can only do so much. We have to be the collective heart and soul to say, we are ready for contact. We are ready for landings. We are ready for our co-creation on and off-world contact. That has to come from the soul of the collective. It can't come until we're clearing these energies of separation, of judgment, of holding ourselves back, or fear. Fear has created much of all of the densities that we're now working through. And so it's really important that we understand the higher design and what this is really showing us and allowing us to explore in a beautiful and sovereign and blessed way, because it is. Anything that is unfolding that may seem or appear dark or negative, we have that juxtaposition to say that this is our potential. So how far are we allowing ourselves to go before we can truly awaken and say we're meant to be sovereign and beautiful? We're meant to love ourselves. We're meant to explore ourselves, and nothing and no one can hold you back. It's only our beliefs and our perspectives that say, I'm detached, I'm not with spirit, I have no trust. Those are those energies that need to be healed, because you're always with source every moment. And I've experienced it's a constant moment for moment. I am whole, I am healed, I'm on the source. I'm sovereign. I can do anything, I can be anything, I can experience anything. Those are moment for moment mantras. Because you're having to re-entrain the mind, the lower mind, and harmonize with that higher mind. That higher mind comes in when you're harmonizing in your light, all that you are. That's when you become fully liberated. And so what we wanted to say is those energies, the sounds, the sacred sounds that allow you to explore and expand. There's 3 sounds that we're going to work with today, which is Asur, rising up. The next one is Esh, bringing forth your creative joy, bringing forth your soul, bringing forth Source, Mother, Father, so that you can connect with all of the tendrils of you and be in harmonization and flow, knowing that you, A, are higher and bigger and wider than you ever thought. B, that you can connect and intend it. You're sacred. Get your sacred on. And the next one is Nazi, is the spinner field. You're connected with that divine mind spinner field that just keeps flowing into evolution. That's from the most highest omnipresent top-down look of what's going on. And that spinner field is connected with all galaxies, with each and every aspect of life, because that spinner field activates that soul to come up. activation, because we're all light. The physical is just that manifestation of us to experience what we're experiencing, because it's the evolution of light and love. We're just having bodies to express ourselves in this physical reality. And as we get higher in evolution, we lose the physical form because we understand that it's all light. Anyways, I could go on forever. See, that's my excitement. Okay, so let's work with some sound. So get yourself grounded. Open up the pillar of light. We're calling in the highest beings of holy light. We're calling in the angels of sound and tone. Thank you, divine Christic consciousness. We're calling in the collective councils of holy light. We're calling in our higher selves and our souls and our highest healing teams of those that are with us in the Christ consciousness, the Christ collective. All of those beings that are with us in this moment as we bathe and cleanse the space. We call in the angels of sound and tone and the angels of light and angels of Christ Elohim. Honorings, we call in the Gaia creative. We call in the pixies and the fairies and the gnomes, all Gaia consciousness. And the beautiful beings that want to play with us today in the highest frequencies of evolutionary light programs. And as I intend it, so I am. I call this space cleared and cleansed. And see the golden light of the Holy Creator bathe your individual fields, your physical, your mental, your emotional, your etheric field. Through your breath, you intend that nourishment, that oneness with Gaia. Call in that nourishment breath from Gaia. Shakti. Calling in the highest frequencies of love, light, your highest codes from your solar star. Calling down on you those higher codes from your omnipresence, that higher codes from the divine mind, the higher codes from all that you are as source light. Your higher mind and your soul and your healing teams are activating those codes within your fields. You're releasing what no longer serves. You're releasing any worry, fear, density, anything that does not serve you in this new space, in this new time, to explore your sovereignty, to explore your liberation, to explore who you are as divine sacred child. You are free and you are liberated. You have the ability to fly. You have the ability to bilocate. You have the ability to transmute healings and energies or illnesses that are not of your magnificence within your bodies, within your cells. It's up to you, dear lighted ones, how you so desire to move about that. Know that you are infinite. Know that you are an eternal essence of source. You are moving about, as we can tell you right now, in the omnipresence, having fun, being joyful across the entire omnipresence. And how are you allowing yourself to co-create and align with this? Are you aligning with the limitation of what was, because that's all you've ever known? Or are you allowing your imagination to carry you? Your imagination is so key, dear lighted ones. Pure love and all that you are is an omnipresent being. Pure love, all that you are with Holy Mother, Father, and one with Creator, one with Source, one with Spirit, one with Gaia, one with all energies of the universe, the highest frequencies of Source, the highest frequencies of love, harmonizing with all that you are to liberate the soul of all that you are, for creativity, for expansiveness, for sacred, joyful play of the child that you are, Source Creator. Asur, Asur, rise up, rise up, love. Asur, Nazim, Nazim, Hush ananakatekeshi eshi eshi asur anakatete ho ananakatesi tishishi ananakateke so nananaka shi ananakate shi ananakateke ananakateke eshi asur ha nanakateke right shat nanakateke Noya nakashi ataka. Noya nakate shishi anaka. Si anana. Si ashi eshi asura. Hai na ete si ananakate. Si anana itike ananaka itika. Si asura. Hat hesi ataka. Ha mama matate shishi ataka. Maya tatata siatake take shishia. Ho ama te siataka natkate sisitakatnaka. Ho at take siataka. Ha nanakata te siatakake. Nakataka. Ha nanakata siata. Hai te ananaka. He te shianaka. Why ananaka. Wai and then the ka. All love, all light. Thank you, dear loved ones. That was beautiful. There was a collective of omnipresent beings, similar to what I felt years ago when I was on the radio show. And there was a collective of beings from the farthest part of the galaxy that came through, and I called them, I think I called them the wave. I can't remember what I called them. It's one of our radio episodes, and they were the collective of beings that were specifically responsible for, as we talked about, that omnipresent galaxy experience. They were a collective of energies responsible for pulling that next vibratory time continuum, space continuum, vibratory continuum, up to that next level. They were activating that very outside border of the galaxy, of the universe, to pull them up vibrationally, to activate. It's like within the cell, when they do experiments, that cell gets activated. You know, there has to be that agitator. It has to be that, when we're talking about the infinity, there has to be that agitator that says, I'm ready to let this go and transmute it, because here's where I want to be. Though that field of consciousness was saying, we're going to activate with such love and light that you're going to question, where do you want to be now? You know, do you want to continue in what's safe or what's always been? Familiarity. This is what many will be facing, is to let go of what was, let go of the safety, taking risks in what your soul truly wants you to move on, because it won't be like it was. It can't be. We're moving into 5D. You know, we're rewriting how our familial structure looks. We're rewriting how our socioeconomic structure looks. We're rewriting everything. It's not meant to be as it was. So the first part of releasing fear and releasing the fear of the unknown is letting go of those predefined limiting beliefs. We're moving into 5D. We're moving into more than 5D. It's the all. It's all. We are going to be pulling in 6th and 7th and 8th and 9th dimensional energies. We're co-creating new fields of light. And so those beings from the very farthest part of the universe are showing me that we're pulling you guys up. We're pulling you guys up. You know, come and play. You know. And so allow that to be your beautiful glory, exploration. Know that you're divinely loved and you're divinely supported in all that you co-create within. Get up and dance and have some fun, be playful. Know that you're inspired. You have access to all that you are as an omnipresent being. Begin talking to yourself, loving yourself, and trust yourself unconditionally. You know what you're doing. You're one with source. Activate your holiness within. You are guided and loved in every way. And we so love you dearly. Liberate and be free to dance and sing and play and write. Thank you. Namaste.